Have you been dealing with anxiety, with fear, with depression, with sadness, with loneliness, with temptation, with lust? If you've been experiencing or have been experiencing these things, there is a simple solution, and that is to focus on Him. Who is Him? That is the way, the truth, and the life. That is the Almighty. That is Jesus Christ. That is the Son of the Father, which is God in the flesh. And so many people, when they get stirred up in life, when they face these problems of life, like I myself, like I go through this constantly, like this walk with Christ, it's not an easy walk. I'm gonna keep it a buck. But at the end of the day, it's the most worth it, because after all this, I still stand on top. And just like Jesus, like he kept going, he kept enduring, he didn't give up, he didn't give into the world. The people told him, oh, if you're the Son of God, you could just just cast everything away and like make everything perfect. But you see, that's what made Jesus Jesus, because he didn't listen to these people. Sure, he had the power, he had like 60 to 70,000 angels in heaven ready to come down at the snap of his fingers. But he didn't do that, because he had to fulfill what was right. He had to fulfill his duty on the cross. So right now, if you're going through things, you can't keep moving forward, right? You can't keep moving forward if you're constantly looking at your rear view mirror. You know, like maybe you could look back and keep running, but you're not going to keep running at that same speed, right? So you got to keep looking at Him. Keep your eyes on Him. Focus on Him. What does it say in the Bible? In the Bible, it literally says when the storm came and when Jesus and his disciples were in the storm on that boat, Jesus, he was asleep. He was sound asleep because he trusted in God. He trusted in the Father. And that's what made him Jesus, because he trusted even in the worst scenario, in the worst weather. He was still asleep in that boat, and there were waves covering the boat, literally going all over the place, right? And his disciples were in fear. They were saying, Jesus, they woke up Jesus saying, Jesus, there's a mighty storm. What should we do? And then Jesus said, how you little, or oh little of you faith. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why don't you trust in me? Why don't you trust in the Father? And he just rebuked the whole storm just like that. Because he knew, like, at that time, like, you see, like, this is why they had fear. Do you see where this fear came from? It didn't come from like out of nowhere. It didn't just spawn. That fear came from actually putting their faith into something else other than God, other than Jesus. They weren't focusing on Jesus because there was a storm. And so many people throughout their lives, they're going to have this storm come up in their life, right? Like, everyone's life isn't perfect, right? We all go through these storms, right? And sometimes these storms get so vast and so dirty and so full and windy and so much destruction in these storms in our lives that we can't even see the light. We get lost in this storm, in this vast storm. And so obviously, because we're in the storm, we focus on the storm. And that's what keeps you in it, my boy. Focusing on the storm, putting your faith on the storm instead of focusing on Him, which is the way, the truth, and the life. Because it says in the Bible, focus on Him, and all things shall be added onto you. So right now, you may be focusing on the wrong things. Like, sure, like, you're going through some things, but if you continue to focus on, oh, I need to get this money, I don't know what to do, I have this anxiety, this fear, I keep falling into lust, well, you're going to keep falling into that lust. You're going to still have that anxiety, you're going to still have that fear if you're going to keep focusing on it, if you keep putting your attention on it. Because you're basically putting that thing, you're taking the space in your mind and putting that thing in that space. Because you're allowing that certain problem in your life to actually take control of you. You're allowing these emotions to take control of you. And that's why it's holding you back from your true potential. It's holding you back from actually focusing on God. Like, you see Satan, the enemy, he's going to give you whatever you want. Like, you may not even experience these things, this fear, this temptation, this loneliness. You may not even experience these things. You may actually be experiencing joy, like all these things like gifts and wonders. But are these gifts drifting you from God? Are they keeping you away from God? Have you been so full of yourself, so prideful of yourself that you've been going out, buying all these things, these materialistic things, just so you could feel more better about yourself? But is it really filling that void deep within you? Is it really feeling that little void in your heart? Not little, literal. Because you're buying all these things, you're trying to like mask up this like depression or all these like feelings that you have with all these materialistic items, right? But it says in the Bible, what good is a man if he gains the whole world but loses his soul? So right now, like, you think you're gonna solve all these problems by buying these expensive clothes or just like, you know, like showing off to everyone, or maybe you're just trying to get that pleasure. You're just trying to, you think this pleasure is gonna actually satisfy your life. But why is it every single time you fall into it, every single time you do it, it gets worse and worse and worse, and now you get addicted. Now you do it 2 to 3 times a day, 4 times a day. Pause. Hey, I don't know. Hey, I'm going off on this video, but like, it's true. Like, you're just gonna want more and more and more. And so that's why we have to put our trust and faith in him, because as long as you focus on him, then suddenly you will be led to green pastures and still waters. You won't be in this like anxiety. You won't have this like mind fog. You won't be trembling in fear. You won't have these second thoughts. You won't even question if your faith is real or not, because you're already focusing on him. You already know that he's going to lead you all the way to the kingdom of righteousness in Jesus' name. Type in the chat. Hey, type in the comments in Jesus' name if you made it this far, because I'm spreading a message. Start focusing on him, my boy. Like, you don't even realize, like, every time, like, I'm saying this from experience for myself. Like, low-key, I'm making this video talking to myself, to let myself know that every single time that I fall into this, like, I don't know if I get this, like, doubt, this anxiety. I don't know, like, God, like, you're not giving me my prayers. Like, I'm praying. I'm not receiving these blessings. Like, I have so many questions. Like, God, is this what I'm supposed to be doing in life? Am I supposed to be doing this? And you see, like, all these things just start piling up together in my mind. And soon enough, like, I can't even think straight. Because I'm thinking about so many things. This. Oh, I need money. I need to continue this job. My YouTube. This. Relax. Just, it says in the Bible, if you have any worries, just cast them to God. Just let it all go to God and focus on him. Focus on him. Really focus on him. Like, I'm serious. Like, I'm not even joking at this point. Because every single time I focus on him, every single time I started getting into the word, every single time I started praying, I started fasting, I started doing these things, this is what led me to peace. Not going on TopTick, not going on the hub, not like thinking and like having these insecurities, overthinking. Because overthinking, like, when you start overthinking these things, like, it just leads to more and more destruction. Because this is where the enemy can actually utilize your overthinking. Because now you may be overthinking, but you're not thinking about him. You're overthinking about everything else but him. And so this is where the enemy is going to be like, aha, I got you. Now he's going to start planting these seeds of doubt, of fear, of anxiety, of loneliness. And suddenly there's a bunch of seeds from him that are growing in your mind. And if you don't actually focus on him, they're going to continue to grow and grow and grow. And their roots are going to be so deep that you can't even pull them out. Because soon enough, it's going to be too late. But it's never too late. It's never too late to get saved. It's never too late to turn from the enemy and turn to God. Turn to Jesus. Turn to the way, the truth, and the life. Hey, let's get it. Hey, I'm ending this off. Stay blessed, stay wealthy, rebuke the kingdom of darkness, and embrace the kingdom of righteousness. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Surpass your limits.